As I receive this award, I have a message on Africa's economic opportunities and proposition. Smart investors should pay attention to Africa. African countries represent 13 out of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world. The New York Times ran a big headline that the world is becoming more African, with 1 in 4 people in the world being African. To feed the world, think Africa. That's because 65% of the uncultivated arable land left in the world is in Africa. To support global energy transition, think Africa. That is because Africa has one of the largest renewable energy potentials in the world and vast reserves of critical minerals and rare earth vital for manufacturing of computers, mobile phones, windmills, aerospace equipment, electric vehicles, and battery energy storage systems. The African continental free trade area is worth $3.4 trillion. Africa offers high rates of returns on investment. Don't believe me, believe the data. The United Nations Development Program, recent Africa Investment Insights, shows that investing in Africa gives internal rates of returns of between 15 and 20%. How about confidence of investors? And many of you are here today. Don't believe me, again, believe the data. The African Capital Markets Activity Report, released in April of 2024, shows that African fundraising more than doubled to $4 billion across 22 funds, even as global private capital fundraising fell by 19% year on year. You may think, well, that's fine. How about the risk of investing? Don't believe me, believe the data. The Moody's Analytics report on cumulative losses due to default to infrastructure globally shows that losses to Africa are 1.9%, compared to 6.6% in North America, 10.4% in Latin America, 12% in Eastern Europe, 4.6% in Western Europe, and 4.6% in Western Asia. Bottom line, Africa is the least risky in terms of investing in infrastructure. And that's why the African Development Bank has invested over $55 billion in infrastructure over the past 10 years under my presidency, making us the largest financier of regional infrastructure. The African Development Bank is a key, thank you, it's a key strategic partner with the United States, Angola, and Zambia on the development of the Lobito Corridor. This critical corridor will link the vast copper mining areas of Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo to the port of Angola, improve mineral supplies, unlock agricultural potentials, and create jobs. The African Development Fund will be providing, Mr. President, I'm happy to tell you today, $500 million in support of the development of the Lobito Corridor. In addition, the African Development Bank will also provide an additional $1 billion over 5 years for complementary investments in the Lobito Corridor, including agricultural value chains, roads, and energy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we build transport corridors, let us also build strategic partnership corridors. Strategic partnership corridors between the United States and Africa. Strategic partnerships that prioritize capital investments in infrastructure, agriculture, mineral industrialization, development of digital infrastructure, as well as capital markets. Strategic partnerships for shared prosperity between the United States and Africa. And here I'm just saying, Ambassador, here, we love the United States, and I just want to say that when we think about the issue of trade that the chair mentioned of the African Union, the total amount of trade of Africa with the United States is only $34 billion. It's about 1.2% of total global trade. And when you look at it in terms of the amount of trade surplus that everybody worries about, and the US is right in trying to make sure that is done, but for us in Africa, it's only $7.4 billion, it's probably about 0.2%. And so it's very, very small for Africa. And so what we're trying to say is that what's needed is more trade between the United States and Africa, and more trade between Africa and the United States, not less. And what is needed are more US companies and US capital putting capital to work in Africa. There is no nation in the world that has a greater way of making capital work than the United States. And we want that capital working here in Africa. Push it up to the United States and please welcome them. The US and Africa strategic partnerships should move beyond aid to investments. That is the way to go. Act on the data, not perceptions. Think Africa. Think opportunities. Think competition. From the USDFC to the US Exim Bank to institutional investors and capital allocators, invest in Africa. The African Development Bank Group will be there, hand in hand with you, together with Corporate Council on Africa, and I will be, of course, your greatest champion. Today and well into the future, let's make Africa and US great again together. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.